Hello and God bless you. I wanted to ask you a question. How do you pray? A lot of people pray something like this. Lord, please help me. I don't have enough money. My health is bad. I'm all alone. Please, please help. As you pray like this, your aura grows darker, almost black in places. Every word of that prayer is imbued with scarcity frequency. I have no money. I'm all alone. My health is bad. You are decreeing exactly what you don't want. You may say, I'm asking for health. I'm being humble. No, you're manifesting more scarcity through constant focus on it. Every thought is a seed. Every emotion is water. You plant seeds of scarcity and water with emotions of fear and despair. And then you wonder why you reap more scarcity. You may say it's true. How do I pretend that it's not? I'm not saying pretend. I'm saying stop giving energy to it. Stop decreeing it. Before Jesus performed the miracle with the bread and the fish for thousands of people, he didn't start off praying by saying, God, we don't have enough food, please help. He said, thank you for this abundance, before it manifested as if it was already there. But you may say, but the bread wasn't there. Exactly, he was operating at the frequency of abundance before the abundance appeared. And because his frequency was so high, so right, physical reality changed to match his frequency. You may say, is it that simple? It is that simple, but it's not easy. It takes constant mental discipline that most people don't have. Jesus had it. He held thoughts at such a high vibration that they manifested immediately. Most people are holding thoughts at such a low frequency that they manifest slowly. But they do manifest, and they create exactly what you don't want. You may say, my life is like this because I did it to myself. It's not bad luck. It's not God's will. No, through decades of decreeing, thinking of scarcity, fear, and poverty, you thought those thoughts into reality. You have programmed reality. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. Jesus tried to teach us that, but they've turned a doctrine of empowerment into a doctrine of dependence. You may say, did we deserve this? Jesus said, you too are children of God. You too can do the things I did and greater works. If you have faith and do not doubt, you will say to this mountain, be removed and thrown into the sea, and it will be done. He didn't say, ask God to move a mountain. He said, you will say, and it will be done. You may say, is that giving too much power to humans? Everything that exists emits energy frequency. Light, sound, energy fields, thoughts, emotions, intentions. It all leaves a mark. Jesus really healed people, but not how they've taught us. If you could see Jesus healing, you would see that he would have a bright aura, a bright gold aura. And the people he was healing, they would have a weak, faint aura. Most people have a weak aura because their negative thoughts and emotions drain it. If you could see Jesus healing another person, you would see his bright aura flowing into the sick person, and their aura would start to glow too. He didn't heal in the sense of doing something to that person. He activated healing power within the person. He raised the person's frequency so high that disease could no longer exist. Jesus did this through absolute faith. When he said, your faith has made you well, it was literal. If one believes so completely, physical reality will change to match your faith. If you could see Jesus praying before a miracle, you would see an expression of gratitude on his face, joy on his face, gratitude, not a posture of supplication, a posture of certainty. Before Jesus performed a miracle, he didn't ask God, he thanked God, as if he had already received it. They've changed the teachings. They taught us to ask an external God instead of accessing the internal power we have within ourselves. They taught humility as weakness instead of using internal strength. So all the misery, poverty, fear, and loneliness we have created ourselves. Can we change this? Yes, we can. It requires a complete change in how we think. how we feel and how we pray. It requires understanding what Jesus really taught before they distorted it. Jesus was teaching his disciples, trying to explain something they didn't quite understand. He said the kingdom of heaven is within you, not in the distant heavens, not in the temple, but within. I and the Father are one. Jesus is the Son of God. And Jesus said, you too are children of God. You too can do what I do and greater works. He wasn't claiming exclusivity. He was inviting inclusion. When Jesus was standing in front of the fig tree and he cursed it and it withered, then he said to his disciples, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will say to this mountain, be removed and thrown into the sea, and it will be done. He didn't say ask God to move a mountain. He said you will say and it will be done. You may say, is that giving too much power to humans? We are not God. No, we are not God. But we are extensions of God. Just like a wave is not the ocean, but it's a part of the ocean. We are extensions of God. We have the same power as God, just on a smaller scale. When you manifest something, don't ask for it. Don't doubt it. Just simply feel like you have already seen it. You need to operate in desired reality, as if it were already real. Jesus did this perfectly. Feel gratitude with your heart. Emotion is fuel. Thought is direction. You need both. Remember how it felt when good things happened to you. The warmth in your chest. Imagine seeing what you want and feel gratitude. If you really believe in those moments, high emotion plus clear intention are guaranteed manifestation. It's the law, like gravity. But remember, you can do manifestation exercises for 5 minutes a day, but if you spend the rest of the day thinking you don't have enough money, it never works out for you, you're unlucky, that just cancels manifestation. Every negative thought is a doctrine against what you don't want. How many times a day do you complain? Do you worry? Focus on problems hundreds of times, thousands of times. So do you need to control every thought? Yes, you do. You have to control every thought. It's the hardest work there is. Jesus did it naturally. You need to do it consciously until it becomes natural. And if you do this, you can manifest anything. You can manifest health, wealth, relationships, anything you can imagine. Like Jesus manifested bread, fish, and healings. Everything we have believed about life, God, and how things work have been incomplete. Jesus tried to teach this, but the church has hidden it from us. Why did the church do this to us? Why did they hide this from us? Because people who understand their own power don't need institutions. They don't depend on religious authorities. They become free. And freedom is dangerous for those who profit on dependence. They have enslaved our entire race for financial gain and power. But it's coming to an end. We're waking up, and they are terrified. You may say to yourself, how dare they? I could have lived a better life. How could they do this to us? I'm angry. Anger is low vibrational, and dwelling on anger and past mistakes is low vibrational and both cancel manifestation. So let the old you die and think of the new you. Whenever you have a negative thought, replace it with an affirmative thought. You don't become what you say once. You become what you say repeatedly, with fire and emotion. But power is frightening. It's easy to be a victim and blame your past mistakes on other people, or God's will, or bad luck. Knowing that you're responsible for every bad thing that has ever happened to you, it's hard to swallow. But you now have the power to change it and live the life you've always desired. You may say, but I didn't deserve this. After years of thinking, you're not good enough, it never works out for me, everyone abandons me, you have decreed it, and you attracted situations that confirmed it. So does that mean that you deserved it? No, you didn't deserve it. But deserving implies punishment. It means that someone else decided that you should suffer. But no one did. You simply operated at a frequency of suffering for so long that it matched reality. The law of attraction is not moral judgment, it's physics. If you created suffering, you can create joy. If you manifested loss, you can manifest gain. If you attracted loneliness, you can attract connection. Power works both ways. For your whole life, you've been a victim of an unresponsive God, a victim of bad luck, a victim of other people. And being a victim is comfortable because you don't have to change. You don't have to change, you don't have to take responsibility. It's not comfortable, but it's familiar. And for some reason, familiar feels safe, even when it destroys you. You may say, how do I stop this? How do I stop being a victim? After an entire lifetime, one thought at a time, one emotion at a time. Jesus said, watch and pray. Watching means constantly observing thoughts, catching the negative thoughts before they gain power. Praying means decreeing desired reality with an emotion of certainty. You're not alone in this. Billions of people operate in victim mentality. It's programmed by media, religion, and it's all telling you that you are powerless, that you need external saviors. You may say, how do some people succeed while others don't? Because either consciously or subconsciously, they operate at a frequency of abundance. They think differently, they feel differently, and then they attract differently. You may say, what is something I can do now? What's something I can do tomorrow? You spend 5 minutes feeling gratitude, not for the things you have because your mind will reject it, but for the things you will have. Feel as if you already have them. Perfect health, loving relationships, financial abundance. Feel the thrill of having them all. Feel thankful. You may say this feels fake. It may feel fake at first, but faking it until you make it still works, because the mind doesn't distinguish between real and vividly imagined. If you feel the emotion of abundance, the brain still activates the same chemicals. Cells respond, your energy field changes. Then the rest of the day, observe your thoughts. When you catch a negative thought, stop immediately. Stop immediately and replace it with an affirmative thought. Money flows easily to me. I am loved. Even if you don't believe it, repeat it. Repeat it until you do believe it. This may be hard at first, but after a couple of months, it'll become automatic. Like Jesus, he didn't have to try to keep his frequency high. It was natural. And with practice, it'll become natural to you too. You may say, how long will this take? Small things, a couple days. Bigger things, months. But every small manifestation will increase your faith. And faith and absolute certainty speeds things up. Free will is absolute. You have the choice to return to victimhood. Most people do. It's easier. But you have the potential for more. You wouldn't be seeing this if you didn't. Use your discipline and focus and direct it to your mind. And remember, thought creates, emotion amplifies, certainty manifests. That is the formula. The church wants you to dwell on shame and fear and sin. They want you to feel unworthy. They want you to believe that no one comes close to the glory of Christ. Then why did Jesus say, you too can do the works that I've done and greater? We too can perform miracles. Faith is the key. Peter walked on water for a minute, then he lost his faith and he sunk into the ocean. And Jesus said, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? Why did he doubt? The people who rewrote the Bible should have taken that part out, but they messed up. Good for us, bad for them. And remember, thought creates, emotion amplifies, and certainty manifests. That is the formula. God bless you. Have a great day.